ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। We have almost come to the end of Grihastha. Let me just sum up the ideas that we have thought about in Grihastha. One very important thing about Grihastha that we studied is that the moment that he comes out of the Brahmacharya ashrama, the student is given certain instructions or guidelines. Esha adeshaha, esha upadeshaha. And that's what is the idea that is given in the Snatakotsava. That means to say, school living or college living or the education. From that you come to become the Grihastha. There are certain things that you take, you bring it with you. It is your responsibility to see that those things are taken care of. Like the way that when Rama comes back to Ayodhya, then Bharata, he gives back to Rama all the promises that he has taken care of, and then how he has enhanced it, he made it much better. Rama has given the control of Ayodhya, said that you take care of Ayodhya, but he made that Ayodhya such an extraordinarily wonderful place. And he said that is why it is Ramarajya. Similarly, when Rama said Hanuman to go and see Lanka and Sita, find out Sita, not only that he found out Sita in Lanka, he crossed all the way, met with Sita, and did something which is much more than what Rama expected. So that means to say, you give with all the interest, the original, and also give it to the society. That's a responsibility of it. The way that Brahmacharya ashrama, a brahmachari coming out of the teacher gives the instructions. And that's what we have seen. Veda manucha acharya ante vasana manushasti. Having learned the Vedas, and the acharya ante vasana, for the student, he gives this anushasti. Anushasana he gives. It's a very, very nice word. Anushasana is a direction that you give. And the direction is in two different prongs. That is what at the end of it he says, Eta esha adeshaha esha upadeshaha. That means it's an upadesha. It is a teaching for you. Adesha, that means it's a expectation from you. That's why these two things together is what is called as Anushasana. In fact, this word Anushasana comes in Patanjali Yoga Shastra also. It says that Tatha Yoga Anushasana. It is not the question of that you're explaining yoga, you're teaching about yoga, but he is giving what is there, the modality that is there in the name of yoga. Patanjali has given us in the form of Yoga Sutras. Here also it is Anushasana, Veda Manuchacharyante Vasana Manushasti. All those things we have seen earlier also. What are the things that are there? Satyam Vada, Dharmam Chara, Swadhyaya Adhyatmat Parvatataha, Matrudevo Bhava, Piturdevo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava. At the end of Siksha, the teacher, after he completed the learnings, the student, he gives these direction to the student so that he can adapt in the life. He also said at that time that until now, that whatever that he does, it is there under the guidance of teacher. Now you are going to become independent. So therefore, that these are the ideas that are given for an independent person, so that you need to adapt these things from coming from within. And not only that you adapt these things, but you happily, consciously, with the courage that you take it up, and also not only that you follow it up, but you see that you enhance that. That is what is the idea that the student is expected to. So Grihastha fulfillment, he used to see that how these ideas that are given in the form of Anushasana as a child, school leaving, brahmacharya ashram that become, he has to follow these things in the grihastha. So what we read in brahmacharya ashrama as the Anushasana are the things which are to be applied in the grihastha. How many times that we see that we only tell the truth? Satyam vada, dharmam chara. The situation that is there in front of you, can you walk in dharmic way? And never forget about looking into yourself. Swadhyayadhyatmat pramadataha. Matrudevobha, Pitrudevobha, etc. All these things are given. These are the things which a student is supposed to manifest during the grihastha. So these are the injections which are supposed to be practiced at the grihastha. Now what happens is that during that time, 5,000 years ago in Taittiriya Upanishad time, these are the things which are given in the form of a instruction to the student according to those days. What we need to do today is that we need to update or we need to adapt the same spirit behind these instructions to present day's world. And the situation where we are living, we should be able to design our own yamas and yamas, our own directions to see that how we can adapt that. The same thing has been tried by Patanjali in the form of yama niyama. Probably that was there at the time when it is 1000 or 1200 years back when Patanjali was there, given the Brahma Yoga Sutras. Today, according to the situation that we are in, we should create that kind of disciplines which has to come from within. Then only that we graduate ourselves from the Grihastha into the Vanaprastha. So it's a graduation into the next Vanaprastha. It's like the way that a leap that you take from the Grihastha to Vanaprastha. We'll go into detail what is meant by Vanaprastha when we see the characteristics and the requirements at the Vanaprastha level, both for the sake of society and for the sake of individual, both for the sake of family and for the sake of his ancestors, the direction that they are given, how you need to take in that direction. That's why it is said that one person who realizes the self, not only that 7 generations in the future, 7 generations in the past, they also get sanctified. That means you are living on this earth, you are living on this grihastha is such an extraordinary potential, extraordinary capacity that you need to do so that you take care of these generations. This is what is called as runa. That means to say, for having taken birth in this family, you have to repay for this in a happily blissful way. With an idea of that, you are blessed to take care of these things. That is the idea that we need to carry on. The second thing is in order to follow these things that we need to have that humility. At every point of time, we have to have this humility. And then with that humility, when we do the Purusha Prayatna, that means the effort that we are in, we should not actually make any concession on the amount of Purusha Prayatna that we do it. And it has to be encouraged and the room, and that is something which we need to really encourage not only for us to see that future generations, they give that. We are not looking for any favors. We are not looking for any easy shortcuts and all that. We are actually going through this particular situation because every situation that we go through without all these shortcuts actually will strengthen us, not only strengthen us, increase our self-confidence, ability to do that. In fact, these days, the politicians, in order to catch the votes, they do all these freebies. I keep telling people that any freebie anybody announces is actually, he is insulting me. It means to say, I am capable of earning, I am capable of managing. If it is not there, I am capable of controlling myself not to go for all such things. Why do I need to have those freebies? Why do I need to have somebody's favor? The moment that I am subjecting myself to somebody's favor, that means to say, I am selling my soul. I am selling my conscience. I can't sell my conscience. I am supposed to be strong. This psychology we need to have, that my conscience is something which is strong. I can never sell my conscience in the case of some small little benefits here and there we get. So therefore, that you become strong inside, but at the same time, the strength that you have should not become your arrogance. The moment it becomes arrogant, that strength becomes useless. You have to be humble, but at the same time, you have to be firm. That's the second one, that in Grihastha Ashrama, you get again and again this kind of challenges, and you face these challenges boldly, courageously, and to see that you face, you suggest ways and means how as somebody can really grow in that direction. It may be in your family circles and the society. You must be a role model for that. That's what is important in the case of the Grihastha. One more thing is that, as I said, Grihastha is something where we are trying to re-establish all these ideas of Puranas. Puranas have so many things, Purana stories have that. The very idea that Purana stories that are the mythology stories, they are not reality. But only thing is that it's not the contents that are important, but very importantly, what is the message that it gives? That's what is important. Around that message, the contents are worked out. That's how basically all these Puranas are developed. There is a message to give. That is the way that you surrender yourself to Father's wish. Don't raise in front of your father. Don't raise your head. You succumb to Father's instructions. A very clear idea that is there. In order to fulfill that idea that is given, Matru Pitru Devo Bhava. Father is God, therefore Father's words, I can hold it. I can really subscribe for that. And that's what we have such a wonderful example of the Parashurama. The moment his father, Jamadagni, said that cut off your mother's head, with so no second word, he cut off the mother's head. He followed that. But then the other brothers of Parashurama, they did not do that. That means to say, father said that cut off mother's head. They said, no, we do not want to do it. So does he not violate the Dharma? He did not violate Dharma because there is another Dharma which is also there simultaneously. That is, like the way Pitrudeva Bhava, the same way that we have Matrudeva Bhava, mother is God. Whatever may be the mother, the father was not satisfied with mother's character. Says whatever may be the mother, mother is a mother, and we need to protect her. Come what may, we protect her. Other brothers, they prepare to die rather than killing their mother, whereas Parashurama killed his mother. So which one is right, which one is wrong? This is what is the kind of situation we come across in the day-to-day life also, in common life. Those days, several thousands of years ago, that was a problem between Parashurama and others. But in our case, it is not like that. It may be different ones. But there also, the persons who saved mother, also that they followed Dharma, the persons who cut the mother's head, Parashurama, is also following Dharma. How can apparently two different kind of activities become dharmic activities, support each other? The simple idea behind that is that they were prepared to give their life away for the sake of others because the father was so angry, he cursed all his brothers to die. They were prepared to die. That means to say they violated the dharma of father's words, not for their personal growth, personal gain, and personal safety. They know very well that if they follow, they will not be burnt. So therefore, their skin saved them. Therefore, that they cut the mother's head. It is not like that. They know very well that father is going to curse them to death. In spite of it, they did. That means absolutely there is no selfishness. It's not what activity you have done is important, but what is the purpose behind it, what is the philosophy behind it, or what is the psychology behind it is important. The psychology is not one of self-development, self-growth, self-saving. Is the question of sacrifice. Sacrifice is the running factor behind all these things so that it becomes dharmic activity. On the other hand, when we say Parashurama killed his mother, he did not kill his for his personal gain. Not for the sake of that he would like to survive. He will not be like the way that other brothers who died. I don't want to die. That was not his argument. And he said that cut off mother's head, he cut off mother's head. Because Parashurama knew very well, deep inside he has this conviction that it is not dad who is talking to cut off mother's head. It is actually the dad's anger which is making to do that. So therefore, he cut the mother's head off, but at the same time, the father asked him, "Yes, I am pleased with you. You ask me for any boon." Immediately the son says, "My dear father, first boon that I want is please grant me this boon that you give up this anger. You are not a person with anger anytime. Something which is avarana, superimposed on you. Oh, is that so?" He gave up. First he asked that, and then second, all right, my dear son, asked what is that second wish? He said, bring back my mother and brothers to life. It's all for sake of others he did it, not for himself. So all that he has done is not for satisfying his selfish needs. On the other hand, the selflessness is something which he manifested. That's the reason Parashurama is supposed to be extraordinary Dharmatma. He followed Dharmatma as much as that Parashurama's brothers followed Dharmatma, Dharma activity. So it looks like that they are opposite activities, but basically from the point of view of Sanatana Dharma, both of them are dharmic activities. That's why Prahlada, we hold him so high. Parashurama, we hold him so high. It's one of the incarnations of Vishnu. We gave that position because the simple reason that he followed that kind of thing. There is nothing that he was gaining out of that. It's not for the personal gain. And together with that, another important aspect of compassion and important Sanatana Dharma, have compassion, have love. And he had compassion towards his brothers and his mother. He could have easily said, okay, I killed all these people, now I want a kingdom. He did not say that. Let it go to the brothers and see that they're taken care of, mother is taken care of. So this way, that there is nothing that for himself that he did it, but for sake of dana, prema towards his brothers. He had that manifestation of that. So therefore, the practice of selflessness, practice of dana, giving, and practice of bringing life, all these things are dharmic activity, what he has done. So therefore, Parashurama is extraordinary. But some of the books that they carried the story that because Parashurama killed his mother's head, mother cut off the mother's head, therefore he had to go through some punya kshetras to see that what are the sin that he did it. It's okay, all right, I don't subscribe to that or not against that. It's okay because stories can have all these kind of things. And Puranas are only stories. The stories that Puranas have is essentially to convey the message. And the message we conveyed here is that selflessness and compassion, love for the family member, love for anybody. So these things are the ones which made the story of Parashurama extraordinary. In the Grihasthashram also that there are many times it so happens that I may have to take one stand against the other that seem to be opposite. But all that what you need is just to stand back and watch it. Am I taking the step out of selfishness for my personal development, or am I taking up this decision for the sake of community? Temporarily, it might look like to be for personal interest, but on the long run, it is for sake of society we give it. If this way we do it, we are doing Sanatana Dharma in the normal course of time in our day-to-day life. Second thing is that very important aspect in Grihasthashrama that we have is that people can easily get caught up with this miracles. Everybody is or the other, so somehow or the other, this miracle is supposed to be the spirituality. That's why a lot of people look at the spirituality, and the stories are also like that. Some Baba did some miracle like this, and some other God did some miracle like these are the stories we talk about. As I said, Puranas are the stories to convey some spiritual message, not for the worldly gain. Unfortunately, people have interjected. That's a freedom that we have. Anybody can interject any idea in the name of saying that it is from the Shastras family. So this word Shastra has been so much misused by the people that they have all these practices which are there, supposed to be the practices for Sanatana Dharma for sake of personal gain. A businessman has done something like that, a particular sadhana, so that his business has grown 100 times. Son was sick and he went to the God. The moment he said the prayer to the God, the flower fell down from the God and the boy miraculously cured. See, these things that we talk about very often in the name of spirituality. Very clearly, Sanatana Dharma says that it is not the question of miracles that we need to be attached to. We need to be focused on that. In fact, any miracle that what you say is that it is violating the nature's law. Like, for example, you drown in the water, which is a natural phenomena, scientific phenomena, that's a physics phenomena, water you drown. But here is a yogi that who walked on the water because yoga has given the extraordinary special power. It's a miracle. How can somebody walk on the water? He walked. It's a yogic power. He floated on the water. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa made a very simple, humorous reference to this particular thing. A yogi came to Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and said that, what is the sadhana that you do it? For years together, for months together, you have been meditating, blah, 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 all that. Swami Thakur also listened to it humbly. And then he replied that, look, I can show you what is my ability, what is my capacity by doing all this sadhana. And then he said, okay. Ramakrishna was childlike. He said, okay. And that man said, come to Ghat, come to the river side so that I can show you. And both of them went to the river, and then that person walked on the water all the way. And then Ramakrishna, he just hired one boat fellow was there and said, take this boat that side. And then he went there to the other end of the shore and then waiting for this man to come. And this man came and said, did you not see? I know. After going there, Ramakrishna asked him, saying that, see, you wanted to show me something, and then you came all the way here. I also came. How long should we go that you want to show me? He said, how long? Have you not seen me? What? I walked on the water. He said, I hired a boat and came here. Walking on the water or hiring the boat is the same thing that we came to this. And then Ramakrishna laughed. He said, all these years of tapasya, do you do it? Is worth about an hour, half an anna or 1 anna? Because those days, the boatsman, you pay 1 anna, he will take your class. So it's 1 anna worth. That's all that you gain. See, that means all the miracles are something that is not really happening. In fact, in this context, I would like to share. There's one person who came to Prashanti, and he was from USA, and he was showing all these miracles, extraordinary, wonderful miracles. Of course, reference about that. Sarva Priyananda in his talks on Mandukya Upanishad also recollects that. And he came to our Prashanti, that is Vyasa. There he said that somebody has shown this. And actually, that person was staying with us, and then we had a lot of interaction. I'll share that interaction with you. That is there miracle possible? Is there something miracle like that? Then I said that. Then he said that, sir, that it's not. And is it resultant of the yoga sadhana? That person said, honestly speaking, he said that very simple thing is that when I was growing up as a child, when I was 10, 12 years, suddenly I noticed that I have certain abilities. What are the abilities? The abilities is I see I hold a spoon or a fork in my hand and keep looking at it, it bends. And I was surprised. I said, by looking, it bends. And I talked several items, and it was like that. I found out this, I can do it. It's not the question of any power that has got, but I see that this is happening. It's not a resultant of doing some sadhana or that. Now I do sadhana, but it is not for those miracles, for all that kind of thing. He said that there are a few things which I could do it as a child. I didn't know how it happened, but it happened. But any of these things that I do, I see one thing, that it's not violating the nature's law anywhere. The spoon can be bent, a fork can be bent with some energy. By putting some energy, the spoon can be bent. So in the nature also you spend the bend the spoon, and also that a yogi also bend the spoon. That's all the thing. So nature has it, and then you are able to do that. Nature can produce whatever it is there, and then you can also produce the same thing in the name of exhibition. And it is for sake of miracle that you want to show, for sake of money. But there is no miracle in it. It is somebody who has that natural ability to do that. It's a way that physical law that is there, it's an extension of it. Like you apply heat, it will bend. Now, without applying heat, that without applying the hand hold, that it can bend. So this is something which is nature's law, practiced in the same way. That's what it's supposed to be looking like, the miracle. But there is no miracle involved in that. He said that. There's no miracle in that. But we asked another question, but then there was one. You showed on the stage that, of course, metal can bend and all these things, we can see that it can happen. But on that day, you have shown that a case in which that there were glass bottles were there. And you showed the glass cans, 10 were there. And then you took out one of the glass cans, and then you broke it in front of everybody's eyes, and then that broke. Afterwards, once again, that you opened the box, and then you could find that all the bottles were intact. That means to say the broken bottle has become once again completely uh, attached kind of a bottle. He said, no, sir. Because that you are good personal friend of us, I'm sharing with you, but otherwise I don't care. All that I did was I had a similar box with all that similar these things that were there. And I kept it on the side. And when the show was there, everybody was so much engrossed in clapping and other things. I quietly changed that box to this one, so that in this box again, that every glass is there available. Whatever is supposed to be a broken glass, it's also there. It's only just a sleight of hand or the smartness which is attitude, but not reality. It happened. And then at that time he said, sir, we as a sadhaka, I respect God. Any sadhaka who respects God, not only respect God, but God's abilities also, God's laws also we should respect. If you don't respect the God's laws, where is the way that you are respecting law? So therefore, we respect the God's laws. We are not violating that. Only thing is for the entertainment purpose, we show this as a miracle. But absolutely, there is no miracle in the way that we do it. This is a secret not only with me, with everybody. Similarly, these are all nothing but natural abilities. Like, for example, somebody can really read what your lips talking about or what your face giving an expression. That's why there are people who see the face and then write down what is the expectations, what are the things that are there. What's your question on the face? All that we can write. And this is like what you see, what you hear, and then understand the question and write. An extension of this, that person doesn't even speak, but you see him, the body language gives that. Some more deeper than that is something when somebody sees somebody, immediately comes out with all that relative idea behind it, so strongly as if he knows about it. But it's all something which is in the reality. Like, for example, I see a ball coming from a distance and I can hit it. But if the ball comes a little more faster than that, I can't see that. Whereas somebody like a cricket player, Virat Kohli, is somebody who can see the ball which is coming from a different direction or different direction, and then hit it to go back in the different direction. So he has ability to see that how can sharpen. I always used to wonder that if somebody asked me to, the simple thing is that we are sitting in the near the window, and the window rods are there, cross rods are there, and you throw a a small little ball of the waste Paper is there, you just make it a ball and then throw it. And you always hit the cross rod that is there. Every time you throw, you hit the rod. Whereas if you practice that, you can see that you can throw it without hitting the rod. That means to say from a distance, I can see the rod. I can see the space where it can go. What I can see in about, say, 10 feet distance, somebody can see that in 100 feet distance. Extraordinary ability. But it's a physical law. It's not violating the physical law. That's what he says. Patanjali says that somebody can see from a long distance what, like Tiger Wood. He hits the ball yards away, and then the hole is so small, and the ball directly goes into the hole. It's extraordinary. Extraordinary is his sensitivity that he has there, his perception, and he could execute that. It's not violating any nature's law. The same way anybody looks to be doing any miracle, look at that. It's not violating the nature's law because nature's law is what is God. I can become a great spiritual person without respecting God and his laws. I cannot become. So therefore, all these miracles we should get out of it, because what happens is miracles are the things which are misleading people. People write in the books that you see miracles that are there. This Baba has done this miracle, that Baba has touched the forehead and then became all right. All kinds of such things, and then people follow behind it. Gullible people follow behind it. What happens? You are surrendering your intellect. As a result of it, you are only taking the society in the wrong direction. In the wrong direction, you're not really helping the society. Even if somebody can do a miracle, in what way does it help me? This is what Shasiji always used to say that somebody can produce a vibhuti, somebody can produce a locket, but in what way my peace of mind I can achieve? I have to do it with myself. I have to work on that. So in what way miracle is going to help me? Miracle is going to help only that person to become popular. Hundreds of people, because there are gullible people are there. They'll be attracted towards miracle, for that they do it. Otherwise, miracle has no place in spirituality. But unfortunately, that people read Patanjali also. There are so many different abilities that are there. And these are supposed to be what are the miracle powers that you have. And people say that somebody who has that miracle power is somebody who is spiritual. Nothing to do with the spirituality, because the spirituality itself is the laws of the nature. Spirituality itself is the respect that you pay to the nature. And miracles is something which are actually slapping the nature itself. They are destroying the nature itself. This is not possible. This is not acceptable. Particularly Grihastha let's not encourage any miracles. Any miracles. Anything like that. It doesn't make any sense to you. Spiritual growth is something which is that we need to encourage. So unfortunately, that whatever that is there in the traditional way, they are free from miracles. People have to do it consciously and then grow to a higher level. What is that which makes them to grow higher level? Like for example, without any miracle, somebody is really walking on the path to go to temple on the top. Look at the amount of exertion that he has. And then everything he is doing for the sake of the goddess, temple that he is rising. What an amount of spiritual gain, spiritual development that he is taking. It is much better than you make somebody else to do for your sake. It's not that. You do it so that you allow to grow yourself spiritually. That's why miracles have no place in the Grihasthashrama. Let's not encourage the miracles. If there is any miracle that you see, you say that thanks that you have shown the miracle. Let the miracle be useful for you, and it's of no use for you. It happened in my own real life that, those were the days when Sai Baba was producing vibhuti. Not only Sai Baba was producing vibhuti, there are several people who are producing vibhuti. And there were photos in the houses where the Sai Baba's photo produces vibhuti, it falls on the ground. Oh, it has become a big news. Everywhere that was spread. And not only that, mushrooms of people were growing up to see that they have the Sai Baba and they picture in them, and then they produce the vibhuti in hand. All that was happening. There is one, when this was happening, when our Shastriji was very serious about, let's investigate. If there is any miracle, we'll see that a miracle happens. I'm not against miracles, but only thing is that if miracle happens, we'll explain later on. But before that, let's practically see that. I have got certain conditions in front of those conditions. When he shows the miracle, then I can accept it. He was very clear. And I'm not here to insult anybody, abuse anybody. I have equal respect for the Swamiji and for the people who have that experience. So this was there going on for several days and all that. And we were also involved in that. Looking at the people who are bringing out all these miracles and all that. Those days, there was supposed to be one place where satsang was going on. And then I went to that satsang, and myself and my another brother-in-law, we were all sitting together. And suddenly, on our line, that there was one man, he started really making a very strange move, as if he is in the seizure. Harpalations were there, throat this, that, and all that. And suddenly, I started getting the fragrance of vibhuti, the ashes. And then everybody said, yes, Vibhuti manifested. So he is the great Bhakta of Sai Baba. Therefore, Vibhuti man. Everybody started touching his feet. And then I could see that when I went close to him, his hand is full of Vibhuti. He was sitting in our line. And before that, we didn't know that he is going to produce. I don't know others knew it or not. But we never knew it. But suddenly we saw the Vibhuti. Then I immediately took his address. See that, let's make a little serious investigation into that, not just accept that he has shown the Vibhuti for us. So I took his address and everything. Then I saw that people were really religious, very devoted to him. They touched his feet and all that. He was a little elderly person. All that was there. After this incident happened, in the next couple of days, and at that time, I planned to go after 1 week to his house, so that we would like to have a personal contact. And I said that I will come, bringing Shastriji with me, so that we'll meet you. Myself and Shastriji will meet. And honestly, that we would like to understand this. Whatever the vibhuti or other things that you are manifesting, we would like to know it. And he readily agreed. He said, okay, I'm ready. We can come and we can see what all that's happening. And all that he said. After this, the next day, there was a group of scientists who were there in Bangalore, supposed to be the people who are inquiring into what is called as these miracles, how much is it true, how much is it false. So they were trying to approach Sai Baba for that, and it was not possible. Then there was one boy in Pandavpura, and he is supposed to produce that vibhuti like the way Sai Baba does. So these people went all the way to Pandavpura, and they dressed like any other common villager, equipped with the camera, these, that, and all that. And they went there. Nobody knows about they're doing this. They thought that there are some guests who had come. And then this boy produced vibhuti. And when this boy was producing vibhuti, they closely watched him and saw that this boy was trying to pull the string, which is attached to his wrist and all that. And as he pulled the string, slowly some packet from the armpit came all the way towards his hand. And he just punctured that bag, and all that vibhuti was there that came out. The whole thing, they took a video of it. And after taking the video, immediately there's 5, 6 people pounced on him and exposed him that he has that packet in his hand. They have also carried the press reporters and everybody said, I mean, headlines it has come that this Pandavpura boy that he was doing, it's not a miracle, it's a hand trick. So it was exposed. After this exposure, which I didn't know it, I didn't read the newspapers. But I knew that something like that happened. I had it easily forgotten about that. After that, next week we went to, 1 week later, that we went to that man's house who showed that extraordinary miracle of vibhuti coming out of his hands. So we went to him, and immediately he was a middle-aged man, and his daughter came, 25-year-old daughter, and she asked us what we have come here for. Said we wanted to meet so and so. Oh, please sit down. I will tell dad to see you. So she's a daughter. Meanwhile, we saw that Sai Baba's pictures were there, couple of them hanging on the wall. And from that picture, Vibhuti is coming down, and at the below, they had kept the paper on which they were collecting the Vibhuti. All those things we have seen that, oh, this is where this man produces all the Vibhuti. Sai Baba gives him the graces him to see that he produces Vibhuti. All that we saw. And 10-15 minutes we waited, waiting for this man to come, but he did not come. His daughter came again and said, Dad is busy and he will not be able to meet you. Then we told that we are prepared to stay here for any amount of time, so that when the dad comes and we can meet him. All that what we want is a very courteous meeting. She went inside. Another 10 minutes later, she came back, said, Dad has gone out. Then we said, okay, we will stay here till he comes back. And then we were sitting. And then this girl went back again and said, she's not a small little girl. She is 22, 20 years old, more than that. Went inside. Another 10-15 minutes she took and then came out. Dad is not here. He has gone to Chennai. Suddenly she changed that statement. He has gone to Chennai. He has not gone out. Oh, he has gone to Chennai. When will he come back? Next week? Then hesitantly she said, no, he will not come back. He will stay there. Then we said we would like to have his address, contact in Chennai. So we would like to go and meet him in Chennai. Then she was in great difficulty. Then we said, we don't have his address where he is there. We realized that she is trying to avoid that. But we said, okay, we will anyway try. Next week we will come back. 1 week later, we came back to his house. That time, what we saw is that the pictures of Sai Baba were there on the wall. Absolutely no trace of um, Vibhuti coming down from that picture. So it is clear. Wow, what we saw was the pictures. Vibhuti was coming. Now it is not coming. We were surprised. We were so innocent, we did not connect it to that Pandavpura boy's case. And then we said, we have come here to meet him. Then she said, no, he is not going to come back. He is going to be in Chennai. Now we realize that what is the issue there. So like this, these miracles have the people who are being gullible and they are drawn by this. Grihastha ashrama is something where you look for quick result. You look for freebies. You look for somebody should grace you. Please, you have to have Purusha Prayatna. Even if somebody blesses you, actualizes your capacity. He blessed you to see that you have an ability to actualize, but ultimately you are supposed to actualize. So that is why Grihastha, let's not become victims of these miracle mongers, and let's not also spread these miracles in the world outside. Yeah, if you have faith in that miracle, keep it with you. Don't give it to the world outside. It's personal matter. It's like the way that Hanuman is a personal god for me. You might not believe in Hanuman. For you, Ganesha is a personal god. How can monkey be a god for you? Maybe your idea. Therefore, my idea that Hanuman is a personal god for me, I really adore him. I don't want to unnecessarily give it to the others, this concept. The same way that you do about Ganesha, you have it, don't have to force on the others. So therefore, that in Grihastha is one place where the devotion is something which is a hero. And as I last time I said, that this is the area where we try to put our faith, our trust on somebody outside so that mind is unburdened. Their mind is free from the burden and free from agony, worry that is there. You can say that God will take care of whatever that happens. So this is another thing that is there in Grihastha Ashrama. We are supposed to be very clearly follow that. It's not arrogance, but to see that we are really realistic. That's what is the idea. Then, as I said, Purusha Prayatna is something which is important. You're not going for any freebies in Grihastha Ashrama, not for any miracles. And many times people say that, oh, with miracle, I went to Tirupati temple, miraculously it happened that my business has become better. Please don't connect all these things. You have to do the business yourself, put the pressure. Because same God who helped your business also can ditch your business. You can go down. That time you don't blame the God. Or you don't praise the God, oh God, you're so great that you brought down my business. That you don't say it. Only Rama could say that. When Kaikeyi said to Rama that you have to go to the forest for 14 years, your father wants that. Rama smiled and said to Kaikeyi, that's all right, I will go to the forest, but what is serious? That means it's not a serious issue. Is it not a serious issue? That's what Kaikeyi asked. Rama's reply was so beautiful. Yesterday, my same father said that you will be coronated as a king tomorrow. And today, my father says you go to the forest. Yesterday's father is acceptable. Today's father is not acceptable. It cannot be possible. Same father. So therefore, one way or the other, I will accept it. So therefore, whatever God gives, that we accept it with humility, we take that. And the Purusha Prayatna, we do it so that we try to see that how you put the effort behind it. That's why when Rishi says Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha, that means we have to be happy. Just because Rishi says Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha, we are not going to be happy. No. Rishi said that you have an ability to make yourself to be happy. If you don't go in the wrong directions, you can be happy. You can make a trial. You can make a journey towards that. And you have an ability to do that. You have capacity. You have resources for that. That's why Rishi says, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha. It's a blessing on one side, wish on one side. On the other side, it is something that you can manifest yourself. Purusha Prayatna is trying to encourage on that. Another very important thing in the Grihastha we have seen all these festivals. In fact, this Gauri Ganesha festival, how much of an activity is involved? Bring the Gauri, make all these things. In fact, actually, that these days the shops are available to sell you everything and anything about that. But imagine that we think that we don't have free time, therefore we do that. It's all mistaken notion. We developed all the gadgets to get the free time. So we have enough free time. Only thing is, instead of doing other nonsense things, if you do that, we can really involve in that. When you involve in doing these things, not getting in from outside, actually you see that outside that you can get the Ganesha statues. I've seen little children in Bhal Vihars, they are trained in making this Ganesha themselves. There are some people who guide them. You know, the joy that they show in the Ganesha that they make, so extraordinary. And that Ganesha, what he makes, that does not have the features like the real Ganesha has it, or the standard Ganesha. But in spite of it, the child is happy with that. That's wonderful. That's great. So therefore, that when you do it by yourself, you celebrate every moment that you are doing it. Whereas the moment that you buy something else from outside, you are not celebrating those moments. Then this whole puja, which is supposed to be extending for days together, all that is condensed, and you just only do about half an hour, 1 hour, that saying the mantras and then do that stuff. Rest of the thing does not become like a worship session that you are doing it. The joy of all that is lost. That's why right from the beginning, Narada says, Puja Adishu, Anuraga iti. Do it with a passion. Anuraga is such a wonderful word. Love, passion, you do it. When out of love, out of passion, when you do it, the most wonderful Ganesha is the Ganesha that you made. The most wonderful Gauri is the Gauri that you made. So therefore, it becomes like the pride of yours, joy of yours, and it's not in comparison with anybody else, but by itself, the outcome that you do. This is what is celebration. Unfortunately, what happened? that Sanatana Dharma has given so many ideas of celebration. Every festival is a celebration. We can do so many things, but we have outsourced all those celebrations. As a result of it, the joy, celebration, the thrill that we have in the celebration, we lost it. And we look for that elsewhere. And where is that elsewhere? It's entertainment. In entertainment, we try to look for this quick joy, all those things, success and all that. If it does not happen, so like for example, if you are looking for a kick of this kind of nature in cricket match, then our cricket match, our team loses, the other team will. You see what is the misery that you go through. In some countries that even break the television that are there just because their country lost their cricket match. As a result of it, they break their computer. Whose loss is it? This TV screen. It's your own loss. So this is a stupidity that we result into when we convert celebration into entertainment. Every moment that we need to celebrate, every moment is there for celebration. That's why it is given as the beautiful word present. It's a present from the God this moment. Do it. Involve in that. For the hours together, you can do it. Forget about all other things about the office, about this, about that. Shut off and then do this kind of an activity. You can spare that so that you are filling yourself with that celebration. This is something which is very important. Celebration and not the entertainment. That should be the order of this Grahasthashrama Sanatana Dharma. Another thing is that when you are doing this kind of a preparation, celebration, everybody pitches in. Children have worked there, adults have worked there, elderly people have worked there, the servant has worked, master has worked, everybody has worked there, contribution towards that. It's such a wonderful unifying factor these festivals are. Recently, we have seen this Ganesha festival, how extraordinary that it brings people together. People who are from different regions in our center, they come together as one unit, one family to do this particular thing. Such a beautiful way that we can do it. So therefore, replace the entertainment as much as possible by celebration, because celebrations bring us together. Entertainment isolates us. Entertainment, somebody has to do for you. The celebration, you are the participant, you are the beneficiary. So therefore, what happens is that the giver, doer, and one who experiences the benefit, all are you only. I'm in the class, Ami. I'll
Yes,
finish
yeah.
this class and call you. Right. So this is what basically the idea of Sanatana Dharma. How many festivals that we have? How many ways to celebrate? Added to this, Modi just said every examination is a celebration. Every Ranga Pravesha is a celebration. Take it as a celebration. That way we can add so many celebrations. And then another thing is that unfortunately in the present day world there is so much of comparison. Unfortunately, everything that we compare, this car is better than my car, and he is better than me. All those things, they lead to depression. The most important aspect of Sanatana Dharma is that everybody is unique. God specially wanted you, therefore, that you are here. You don't have to become anybody else. You don't have to struggle hard to become Vivekananda. God has, if God wanted Vivekananda, he can create one Vivekananda, one more Vivekananda he could create. He wanted Raghuram, therefore you are here. He wanted XYZ to be here, therefore you are here. You have a unique place here in this world in God's heart. You are never less, never more. Because basically less and more comes only when you're in comparison. You're unique. No question of better or less better, unique. In Grahasthashrama, every griha is very unique. Every house is unique. Every individual in this house is unique. Every child born, Rabindranath Tagore says that God sent an unwritten message saying that you're very special. And he still has faith in human being. That's what is the idea that we have. And one more thing, the judgment. This judgment is something which is, we immediately conclude into that. Actually, there is no conclusion in life. It's a flow. Conclusion means flow has stopped. You judge somebody, that means to say you are making something superior, something inferior. Judgment, that's why in Jesus Christ he says that, it's a beautiful incident that is there. The lady prostitute, and then everybody was ready to throw the fire on him, and that lady, stones and that. And the law says that you should throw the stone. Jesus arrives there, he says, law says that everybody throws stone. What do you say? Jesus says that, because the whole trap is that Jesus said, don't throw stone, show compassion, then they can arrest you and punish you. But you said, okay, if the law says that you throw the stone, you throw the stone. But I request that only those people who have not done any adultery in the lifetime, they can throw the stones. You yourself an adulterer, then how can you throw the stones? Then people just drop the stones and went away. Because she has become a prostitute because of these people. Afterward, that lady falls at his feet. And then she cries and says that, my dear, she says to Jesus, why did you pardon me? Why did you not punish me? Why did you not judge me? Then Jesus replies very one simple thing. He said that the judgment is given by only the Lord. We are only just here to show our compassion, our love. God is the one who judges, not we. Leave it to the divinity. Let's not judge anything. So we judge based on performance, we judge based on how much money he has, what are the riches that he has. So our whole judgment, our whole perception is, look at all these things, what is his value, worth? Man himself in his worth, not because of other things, but himself is worth. There's an old time story that is there. I'll tell that story and stop it here. And the story is that a king was going out on a Vijay Yatra, and 4 wives were there. He asked them, what can I get for you once I return? One lady said that, one queen said that you get me this jewel, somebody said something else, somebody said something else. One last little queen, he asked that queen, what can I get you? Then she said very simple thing is that anything I don't want it, you come back healthily, happily. That's what I want. When he came back, what all the other people asked, he brought all those things to this last queen also, gave it to her. But finally he said that more than other queens, that you are somebody who is cared for me. So I belong to you. I'll be here with you. That means you are important, not all that what you bring. That's something which is extraordinary. For us, what happens is that God also becomes important what he gives for me, not what he gives. The divinity is something like that. When you do this way, we become a beggar in front of God. Don't be a beggar. God is extraordinary. He has given already something which is much more than you ask for. So therefore, let's have that view. Grihastha ashrama is an ashrama where you live with that fullness. That's why he says, Jevema Sharadashatam, Nandama Sharadashatam, Modama Sharadashatam. We see that way. Hamsa Shuchasadu, Vasudrakshasatu, Pota Vetisatu, Vasudrenas. Everything is nothing but that divinity. Grihastha ashrama will see that. If you are able to see that, if you are able to be in that state of supreme satisfaction, that's what makes you to see that you graduate from the Grihastha ashrama into the sannyasa ashrama, into the vanaprastha ashrama. It's a very unique concept that we have, vanaprastha. Unlike the way that the rest of the world has it, we have a different view. We'll talk about that next week onwards. A few weeks that we talk about vanaprastha before we go to sannyasa ashrama. So with that, I will stop my talk today. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Thank you, Raghuramji. Anyone
Thank
has
you.
any doubts?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Okay, Raghuramji. Thank you so much.
thank you. We'll meet next week.
Yes.
Wish you all a once again very, very happy Ganesha and Swarnagori Vrata. It's already past, but anyway, many houses, Ganesha is still there.
Yes.
We have not yet sent him out, he's still there with you. So let's have a wonderful Ganesha greetings for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.